A shift in perspective took place for me a few years ago. I was in South Sudan, and this pastor from Uganda, he came to me and he said that he needed prayer. And he was really upset about something. And so as we were talking, it came out that he was really upset because their church building had been destroyed. Now my mind immediately goes to a building like this, that the church building being destroyed, and what a economic burden that would be, and how devastating that could be for a community. And he's like, we had such a nice place. Let me show you. And he pulls out his cell phone and he shows me sticks and tarps and sheet metal. And he's like, it was so good. And now where are we going to go? And I thought, I wouldn't meet there. I would be so self-indulgent that if somebody invited me to a church service and said, hey, we're meeting under some sheet metal and there's a little grassy area, that if you happen to sit in the right spot, you won't be covered in mud when you leave, I'd be like, no, I'm good, because I have the wrong perspective. This man and this church were heartbroken, not because they had so much, but because what they had was given to them, they believed, by God, and they were devastated that it was taken away from them. And for us, we could have fixed that in a heartbeat. We could have written a check for $500 and resolved their whole building issue. But he didn't want me to fix it. He asked me to pray to help them understand what God was going to do in this situation and how they could still minister to those in the community. No thought about the physical ramifications of it. No thought about, hey, can you lend me a couple $100 to fix my church building? He just wanted to know what was God going to do. He had a better perspective than I. And yet sometimes we can look at headlines. We can look at things that are going on in our nation that oftentimes are at we call it a boiling point, but I think that might be an overstatement, a boiling point in our society. And we can become so moved and so entangled in those things, and we can begin to question God's goodness and God's eternal plan. And I would challenge you, look to the Word of God. We should not be so focused on the things going on around us, not that we shouldn't appreciate and participate in a democratic process, but you are putting God's ability to work on your capability to vote or vocalize your opinion. Do we not serve a God that turns the hearts and minds of kings? But rather, we get so caught up in fears and anxieties that we are looking to others to be our version of God rather than to trust God to be God.